and we'll start actually with a brief recap of our session yesterday. Just a second. Yeah, now it works. So yesterday, when we started with all this stuckness, what we found out is that no matter which type of the stuckness it is, truth is that energy is not flowing as we would like it to flow. And we said that due to that stuckness, we have to see actually what we cannot see, what's unseen at the moment, and that is where that energy is blocked. And that was actually what we were doing yesterday. We were going into the lower part of the iceberg and seeing actually what's going on. So you got insights where your energy is stuck or heavy at this moment. What are the patterns? What are actually the beliefs that might be looping in your life? We explained some and see some limiting beliefs. And actually, the aim of the yesterday's session was that you see and that you got the insights of what is causing that stuckness, what is actually blocking your energy from flowing fully and being joyful and happy all the time. You also had the homework, and in those homework, in the homework, there were more questions about managing your energy and some insights. What can you stop and start doing in order to be better prepared for any action step you would like to do? And I have to say that I was really glad that some people sent me the reflections we were yesterday doing on the energy and also this homework, because I offered that if you send me what you wrote on the both reflections and on the homework, then I can give you sort of my view on that situation. So some sort of my reflection, how I see it, and what I suggest you to maybe start doing or stop doing. So yes, there were people who did it, and I was really glad to answer to them. And I hope that they liked what I sent and what I proposed. So I think that now we are ready to go on today's session, the main topic. Are you ready? Yeah, no, maybe, okay, yes, okay, thank you. So we will now actually zoom out. What does it mean? Yesterday, we really focused on ourselves, on how we feel, what is going on with our body, with our emotions, with our mental part, with our spirit. Are we aligned or we are not aligned? How do we perceive that stuckness? But now we will go zooming out and not seeing just from our perspective, but we will try to actually see what's happening from the system perspective. And in order to see these things from the system perspective, of course, analytically, we need first to define what is the system. So I would say the first system that we met in the very early childhood is our family. That's the first system. Then we start and then we move between the different other systems, the system in the kindergarten or the school, later on some our friends and our social circles. Then we start with the working, so it's the systems of different teams, organizations, also cultures, religions, states, that's all different kind of systems. The biggest one is, of course, nature. Nature is the biggest system of all. And a system is not just the sum of its parts. So we are all in the system. We are not the lonely island. So we are connected with others who are in the same system. And that system also has its own identity. And what is maybe even more important is that system has its own energy. And from the energy perspective, each system is actually an energy field. And what we can say also from our experience, and most probably you will have some experience with that some steps in life are much easier when you have the support of your system, and some steps then when you are doing the same steps, but you do not have the support of your system. What I mean concretely with that, for example, if you want to do something and your parents said, yes, great, perfect, go for it, then for you it was much easier to do what you were anyhow meant to do because you felt the support of your family system. And if it was the opposite, if what you were meant to be, what you were meant to do, your parents and friends were telling you, oh no, don't do that. No one will be for that. You have no chance to succeed and so on. Then doing steps was much harder. So it's really important to understand how this support from the system can actually really be supportive for us. And yes, sometimes system can block us, and we will talk also about this today. So this is the story that I briefly already started to explain to you. That first system we know is our family. So we have parents, they had their parents, and they had their parents, and so on. So we have a lot of our ancestors, and the recent researches are showing that that for what we are feeling and sensing today in our lives, we can thank to the 7 generations. So I don't know if you know your 7 generations. When I was drawing my ancestry tree, I just know 3 on the one side, and on another side maybe a little bit about the 4th generation. And usually when I see the ancestry trees of others, it's also about 3 generations, maybe somewhere 4, but I didn't yet see someone who knows for the 7 generations. So yeah, interesting is also that latest researches are showing that 70% of our emotional memories are actually inherited. I don't know how this now lands to you, but I'm just sharing some informations. Yeah, I see that emoji. I know how it lands usually to the people. But the fact is, no matter now is that percentage really true or not. Truth is that we learn a lot from our family initially, from our main systems, so to say. And actually our individual consciousness that is created until we are of the age of 5 is created based around family. As a child, we don't have filters. So whatever in our family is said, we take as a total absolute truth. So we are just receiving all those patterns, all those beliefs of our family like the absolute truth, and then we are going to the world with that, not questioning that, not asking, is it true or not? Because that's something that they just put into us of course, in their with their best intentions. But then we are going from that system to the school, and then there are a lot of other children, a lot of other systems. And now we maybe from this systemic point of view can understand how it was funny when we were fighting over something with our classmate in the school, and we were sure that we are right and that he is wrong. But actually, we had what in our family we were taught, and he had what he was taught in his family. And I'm not sure who is right there or who is wrong, but yeah, it's interesting also to look at a little bit from that perspective. And of course, our consciousness that is developed very early is the one that is saying us what is good, what is bad, what's right, what's wrong. And it's very important for us, of course. And why it's so important for us? Again, here we have the survival mechanism in play, because while we were small, we wanted to belong. We do not want it to be excluded. We didn't want to risk that our family abandon us, because without family, we were not able to survive. So it is just the survival effect mechanism that we want to belong. And we will do whatever it takes so that our family is satisfied with us. And we are doing things which are okay for our family. Of course, sometimes it's very interesting that we do the things which are not okay for our family. But then there are feelings of guilt that are starting, that we are starting to feel, because we are again afraid that we will be excluded. And later on, when we are not so small anymore, we do not have any more such a fear that someone will exclude us, but still that behavior is learned. And later on, of course, we can change some of our beliefs, we can change some of our patterns, but it is not something that is easily done, but we really need to work on ourselves and really to see what was going on, why that belief that our family gave us is now blocking us. Okay, until this moment, it was good for me, maybe, but from this moment on, it doesn't work anymore. And maybe to explain you that easier, I can share a story, my story, of course. And I can say that one of the beliefs that I've inherited from my family was that it's important that you are working for some good company, because if you are working for some good, well-known, successful company, then you are safe. And that was the belief, the pattern that I was following for a little bit more than 40 years, and working just for the good companies because that was making me safe. And then in my mid-40s, I decided not to work anymore for the very known good companies. And I decided to start on my own. And of course, that belief of safetyness jumped and screamed and showed me all the red color signs. What are you doing? Are you crazy? But I actually then do the exercise that I was talking yesterday about releasing the belief that doesn't support us anymore. And that means that I was saying to myself, I know so many examples where being in the company doesn't mean total safety, because company today exists and tomorrow maybe it's not. So it is not 100% true, that belief. We know stories about many companies that were successful and good, but in some period of time, they just got down, and then the people were not safe. So first I was looking for some examples that it's not true what my belief is. And then also I was trying to see who am I with that belief from now until the next 20 years. And I didn't like what I saw. And who am I without that belief? And that was much better to see me without that belief. But I needed some new belief about safety. And at that time, I actually changed that being safe from the outside, from some good company. I replaced that belief that I'm safe from the inside. I can trust myself. I know what I know. I know what I am able to do. I know what are my experiences. I know what all I know. I know what I like. And I know that no matter what the challenge will be in front of me, I'm able to solve it. I'm safe. Nothing's wrong with that. So I just replace that pattern. So it is possible, as you can see that example, but we need really to be very aware of that. And also what's important is that for that old pattern, being safe from the outside, it's important that I show respect and that I say thank you. Without you, I wouldn't be here on this position now, deciding to do a little bit on my own. So at that moment, I need to thank to my family system that for all of that good, but actually that belief bring into my life. And with respect to say, this was good, this worked up to now, but from now on, I'm choosing something else. And please, my family system still support me. Look at me, nice. I respect you, but I want to try something else. So this is some sort of systemic intervention that I was a little bit describing, but you got the point what it is all about. And when I was talking at the beginning about our individual consciousness, something that I also have to say is that there is also systemic consciousness, because at the beginning I said that the system is identity on its own. And that systemic consciousness is actually not taking care about me as an individual, but the systemic consciousness is taking care about survival of the system. And systemic consciousness sometimes is ready to sacrifice some individuals if that is necessary in order that the system as a whole survive. So yeah, there are quite some things in the background that are going on. And when I'm saying that, I usually like to see the people faces. Here I don't see the faces, but yeah, okay. If something is off, if something is not okay, if something you do not understand, I hope that you will raise your hand and that we can talk. If everything is okay and you are open-minded and just listening, then we can go further, and you can now think about your system and which belief did you actually inherit. I've selected 6 beliefs that are inherited and yes, you would like to say all of them, but pick one. So we will again have the survey just to find which one is the strongest in our today's group. For those of you who were not yesterday with us and don't know how to go to the survey, here is the short 3-step way how to do it. So you just, from those 6, pick one which is the strongest, because I know that you can have not only one, but the one that is strongest. And what to say? Yeah, congratulations, you met your system, or the part of your system that is inherited with you. And when we look deeper into ourselves, beneath all those surface level wishes and desires, what we really want as humans. We want to survive, that's one thing. And the second thing is we want to realize our potential, and that's what makes us human. And in order to survive, of course, we need all those other people. And the similar is actually happening also with the systems, because there are living systems, and they also want to survive, and they want to realize their potential. So I will now start with explaining what are some basic systemic principles. Before going to the systemic principles, we have a winner. And the winner is, you have to earn everything. Okay, yeah, nice one. Second one, what will people say? Actually, I was thinking that this one would be the first one, because I see it, a lot. But okay, in this group is very special. So it is, you have to earn everything. So this is the group of people who are really trying to earn a lot and who are very successful. So that's the reason that this what will people say came at the second place. Okay, so let's go back to the systemic principles. I hope that all this theory today will help you to, that you can see some things maybe later in a little bit different light. So for the systems, it's very important for things. I was already saying something about living our purpose or potential. So this fourth is somehow self-explanatory, that each system exists to serve some purpose. And if there is no purpose, then that system will dissolve, will die. Something will happen with it. And usually people say, what's the purpose of the family? And I say very easily, to give the life further, to give the life to go further. That's the purpose of the family. For the company, different companies, different purposes. And if we start from the first one, not from the last one, for the systems like organizations and companies, but also for the family, it's very important that we respect the order. Who was before and who is now. For example, in a family, it's good that I really respect that it was first my grandmother, then it was my mother, and now it's me. So if I want to be mother of my mother, then I am actually not behaving according to that order and hierarchy principle. And I am doing something against it, which means that the system will react somehow and show me that I'm doing something that is not good for the system. In the companies, I can here give one example from my history, which happened, which really very good show how when we are breaking this principle, a lot of problems can happen. I was working for a company that was for a long period of time existing. It was big, it was successful, and then that company was bought by another company, which was younger and which was not so successful. And then the new owner, of course, bring over his new management, and they actually changed the history of the company. So they sort of deleted the history of the company, of that old company in which I was working. And a lot of us from that company, from that old company that we are now part of the new one, we were like rebelling toward the new management and the new owner, because I don't know why actually, but at that time I don't know what we have as excuse, but today I know that it was systemic issue, because the history, our history and our leaders, there was no shown respect toward them. And then system wanted to show that. So this is just one example on the first of the, if we are not following the first principle, what can happen? And some issue can happen. Actually, for all the principles, if we are not doing according to them, then we have issues in the system. The second principle is very easy one. It's balance between giving and receiving, and we all know that from our relationships, and we know that if we are in some relationship not receiving as much as we are giving, that we do not feel good, and that we want to have that balance. That's also in other systems, and that balance will come sooner or later. It is not necessarily just balance in money, but it's balance in appreciation, showing care, respect, whatever it is, but it should be balanced. The third principle is balance, is belonging. And for the family, this one is easy. Everyone who is born into family belongs to the family. For the organizations and other systems, it's not so visible, but still this belonging principle works, which means that everyone who decides to join has a right to belong and has its own rightful place, and should be respected on that rightful place for that person. About purpose, I was already saying something. So I don't want to go into the details, but I'm just on this slide also giving some examples. If those principles are not followed, then what's happening are different entanglements, different challenges in the system that are happening due to the fact that we were not following those basic systemic principles. And also, what is also very good known within the system is loyalties. So it can happen, I will just take one example and talk about it to describe what it is. But it can happen that if my parents struggled at their work, then I'm somehow not able to enjoy my successes. It's like, yeah, I'm happy that I'm successful, but part of me, but this is not something that I'm consciously aware. This is something that is, that's the reason why it is said invisible. This is the dynamic that I'm not consciously aware of, but it can show out as a symptom that whenever I have to do something nice, to receive some reward, or have to celebrate some success, I have some sort of mixed feelings. Like, maybe this is not okay. Maybe I do not deserve it. Maybe it's not right that I take it. Something like, this is not for me. I'm with those my parents, and we are struggling. We are the family who struggles. We are not one of those who celebrates. I hope that it's clear what I wanted to explain. I will not go into all details, and of course, here are just some of the examples that I took. But I wanted this session not to be so depressing, so I didn't put a lot of them, but I just want you to have a feeling what all beliefs, all those invisible loyalties, different dynamics that are happening in the system due to the violation of some of the systemic principles are happening. This is for real happening in our lives. And we are living that. And we are trying to solve things on the symptom level. And usually that doesn't work well, or doesn't work for a long period of time, because we were not addressing the root cause of the problem. So if I want to, for example, if we said that I have this problem with not celebrating success, if we now focus on that issue, how can I better celebrate success and why and so on, we will not solve anything, because problem is that I have to say goodbye to that belief that my family has, that we are not worth of such successes and that we are struggling. I have to say, dear mama or dear father, dear mother, although you struggled, I fully love you and fully respected you. And I'm respecting you now and everything that was. And that pattern helped me. But from this moment on, I would like to work differently.
Elma, we have one question.
Yes. If I understand correctly, we need to understand or respect what our parents did. Yes. And not only our parents, but in the different systems, also we need to respect whatever was done in the history. But if this is correct, now question in the family, we really need to show respect toward what they did, because they did at their best. And that doesn't necessarily mean that we have to continue doing that like that. But it will create a problem if we fight with them, if we do not show them respect, if we want to be smarter, bigger than our parents. Then we will violate the first principle of order and history, and it will not work well for us. So if we respect hierarchy, history, and order, our parents are bigger and we are smaller. And from that sense, we should respect them. And yes, sometimes our parents will do the terrible things to us, but still we can respect them, at least for the fact that they were giving a life to us. If not anything else than just that. So in a lot of really terrible stories, the person can at least say to their parents, thank you for the life. And now I can do it on my own, and I will do it differently. I will do it as I think it should work. I hope that I understand. Okay, good. I got confirmation that it's okay. Okay. Regarding these different patterns and behaviors, I would like that we go further. Yes, we will first do the first reflection, and then I will tell one more story where on the example you will see more. So this is reflection for you on the workbook. I think it's page 9. You should spot the system, and which one, with the one that feels heavy at this moment. Okay, I'm now reading the other question, but I will do that at the end. Mitya, please remind me if I forget. But now I will focus here on your reflection. So which system in your life currently feels heavy? That can be your family system, that can be your current working system, that can be your, I don't know, social circle of friends. I don't know, whatever system currently feels heavy for you. The second question is, what are the unspoken rules in that system? And third, what are you expected to be in order to belong, or what are you expected to do in order to belong to that system? And the fourth, are those rules aligned with your truth? So you have now some time to work on that. And please, when you are ready that we go further, just write ready in the chat. So now I will give a little pause that you can spot your system. Okay, we have first three who are done, the past one and the fourth one. Okay. While we are waiting for the others, maybe I can say regarding this question about book, how to understand system and patterns in organizations. There are a lot of books, so I will send you in mail directly to you a lot of names of different books. Unfortunately, all of them are in English. I have just one in Slovene, and that's it. I have one in Serbian, which is very recent, and yeah, usually in English, but I think it shouldn't be a problem. Okay. While others are still maybe doing the reflection of their system.
Can I say something,
Yes.
Ilma? I would just say that books are great, but due to my experiences, it's great also to have a session or something like that when it comes to family patterns, because this is something that it's very deep, hidden in our subconsciousness, and we definitely need a coach or someone who knows how to get to our subconsciousness so that we can relax. And with the books, I think that we can learn something, the theory, and we can align with some, let's say, patterns that vibrates with us. But to do more and to erase or heal some patterns, I think we should do more, not just read.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah, I think that it both is important because we are all different. Some people first need to understand, first the mental part, need to process everything, and then they are ready to step into something experiential. Some people are more like jumping first into the experience and later on I will read what it's all about. So we are all different.
Yes, the best is both. Yes,
yeah,
I agree.
The best is both. Yeah, for sure. And thank you for making me feel like I'm not alone. Thank you. Okay. I wanted to share my story. Really very personal story, but great for explanation of all those what I was trying so far to explain. The story happened a few years ago where I found myself in a growing tension between the two founders. I was director of the operations and they were owners. And instead of speaking directly to each other, each of them came to me. And at first, I was like still holding the whole organization together. And I listened, I reassured, I do the mediation. But over time, as the time passed, I became exhausted and I became somehow trapped and my clarity dropped and I didn't know what was mine anymore. And in one moment, I was feeling like I'm the owner of that organization and I'm the only one who is taking care about the organization, while the two of them are taking care about fighting over me. And also, with the time, this was going, I wasn't able anymore to handle it just on me and on the management team of the company, but slowly it started to drip over to the other employees. Everyone was seeing that something on the top is not okay. And when I finally found out that I cannot do it anymore, and the whole management team found out that we cannot do it anymore like this, we gently invited our founders to really talk directly one to each other, and then things shift. And things shifted not actually in the way I expected them and wanted them to go, because they decided to split the company into two companies. But that's not important now, what they decided. Important is here in this case that I explained to you what was happening from the systemic point of view. From the systemic point of view, I was totally violating the order. So I was stepping into unresolved space between the two of them, and that's the place that system didn't assign to me. I wasn't owner of the company. So that was not okay. What also was not okay was the hidden entanglement that I had a very deep sense of loyalty toward both of them. Then there was my personal pattern of over-responsibility because I was trying to do the magic for everyone. Most probably, there was also some entanglement with my personal unresolved pattern from my family, where I was the mediator between the two. And when I really stepped out from that, and when later on, when I was able to think systemically about that issue, I found out that it's totally clear to me while I was so exhausted, because I was resisting the systemic truth. And that truth was that it was time for separation. And I didn't want to accept that. Also, one additional perspective from this example is that it's very important, and this is the main reason that I'm giving this example today. It is very important that we see the power of seeing things systemically instead of personally. Because as a director of the company, I could have very easily turned everything this about story of myself. What's wrong with me? Why am I suddenly not getting along with one of them, actually the both of them? And to be in some trap that it's my personal issue. I was really fortunate that I recognized very early that it wasn't about me personally, that it was about system, that it was about system shifting. But so I didn't jump into what's wrong with me, but I was jumped into what the hell is happening with the system. So I hope that this story help you to understand that sometimes we want to solve some problems for which we think that are ours, and actually there are the systemic issues which we can resolve differently. Okay, thank you for your emojis. Yeah, now it's time for the second reflection. And this is also something for you. Yes.
I have a question for your story that you just explained. How should things go so that you would have the right to intervene, if you understand me?
In that particular case, it wasn't mine to intervene. I was not the owner. It wasn't my system.
Thanks.
The right intervention is, this is your system, you decide. Actually, it would be nice if I would from the beginning said, I would not step between the two of you, and I will not start to run the company for weeks and months with such situation. The right would be no. That I immediately said no. But I know that now. I didn't know that at the moment, because that was several years ago, and I wasn't so good in the systemic coaching at that point.
Additional question from Simon and then Boris.
Yes.
Okay, you didn't have the right to intervene, but on the other side, you were responsible for your team, for the people. And so
Yes.
it was a bit your duty to, let's say, not help. Yeah,
it was.
Be there for your people. So
Yes.
You had the right and obligation or not?
No, systemically, no. Systemically, in this particular case, it is okay that I do my job and that I do whatever it's necessary for the company and for the people. That's okay. But if I am not able to do my work because of the behavior of the owners, then I need to address that. So I need to stop the operations and tell to the owners, we cannot work. You need to define the new world order, the new ways how we will work, because like this, we cannot continue. And I didn't do that. I was thinking that I'm so big that I will solve everything. But I'm not, unfortunately. Yeah, I hope that this answers your question. So it's right for all the people who were, because all the people suffered, and also later on during the split, a lot of people suffered and everything, but it was inevitable. And if it happened earlier, maybe we would suffer a little bit less. But okay, we learned something. Boris, you also raise your hand.
Yeah, thank you. Well, you actually answered my question. So the trick was just that if you feel that your values are so aligned with the purpose, it's so easy to get well under the radar. So I can understand you in
Yeah.
that sense.
Yeah, I explained that I was really entangled in numerous ways. First, I was thinking that I'm so good that I can make it. The second was that I really love the purpose and I loved the whole team and all the people and everything. And there were a lot of things. And the third is some of my personal, how we call that, characteristic, if I don't want to say, is it a strength or weakness? Yeah, a lot of things were on actually helping situation to be that way. But now from the systemic point of view, it's like that. If something is happening, it is good if we can, that we found the root cause and that we address the things at the root, at the real issue, because then we can do the change. Okay. If there are no more questions, I like it because it's in two directionally, and it's nice. I have the second reflection for you. So in your system that is hard for you, what role are you playing in the sense role? Like, are you someone who is overperforming? Are you someone who is a hero? Or someone who is just staying silent? Or someone who is rebelliously wanting different from the majority? What's your role? And then there are also two more questions. The second is, if you would once stop playing that role, who might be uncomfortable? And what are you afraid that might happen if you stop playing the role you've always played? So what would be the cost and what would be the freedom or the gain? Again, because this is reflection, write me that you are ready to continue once when you are. Okay, we have a few of them ready. Are you ready that we continue or not? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good. Now we have a lot of thumbs up. So this is something that I briefly explained in all those examples that usually systemic pattern shows as a symptom. And that symptom always has some sort of a function, why it is happening, and it has some source where it originates. But what is more important for us is that if we want to have systemic transformation, it's important that we somehow outgrow the patterns that are limiting our further development. That's one half of solving the issue. And the second is that we reconnect with the potential. And why is it here written outgrowing? Because this is what we were already explaining, that we really need to respect organizational history, acknowledge all the benefits, all the lessons learned, thanking with respect for everything what it brings to us, and then we are growing beyond it. So in systems, it's always the movement of inclusion, not how we are maybe in the business more used moment of exclusion and cut and replace. In the systems, the movement is a little bit different, but we really need to do things in this way if we want to have the good systemic change on the healthy basis and with nice outcomes. And below is written one African proverb. So please change the music so that you can change the dance. And that's, I think, very intuitive. the system actually is a teacher, and system reveals the deeper truth. So if we go a little bit more into this, looking into the systems, then we are beginning to see all those roles that we are playing, all those loyalties, maybe the purpose that may be forgotten. We can see all those dynamics that are not so visible, but if we go deeper into systemic work, we can see them. And the system is really teaching us, and our awareness is then changing. So from that mindset, wow, that person there needs to be fixed, we are going towards to notice what happened. Why is somehow this person now behaving this way? What is the dynamics and what are the rules? Yes, Mitya.
We have a question and comment in the chat.
Okay. Thank you for saying me, because I just jumped into the topic and didn't see it. The systemic theory works great until they leave you on your own because they do not know how to solve the problem and send you back to mom and daddy, who do not know how to handle things. Repeating trauma is boring. Like Putin said, we are idiots repeating the same mistakes. Plus, how does mobbing get uprooted? I have to say that I do not understand the question. So if you can rephrase, that I can try to answer it, but I really don't understand it in this way, as it put. Maybe at the end, when we are finished, you can go unmute and then we can talk, but it would be easier than just writing, and that we can understand what you wanted to say. I'm open for that. So let's leave this until we finish with the session, and I will stay as much as needed that we find the answers. I hope that's okay solution. So we were here at the awareness shift, and also you already read what is written there. Important is that system is always teaching us. Now it's the question how much we are able to see and learn, but if we are on the right place and if we respect all those 4 principles, then usually for all people in the system, for the system as a whole, it would be good. Okay. This is also one way to say the similar things. Instead of blaming, fixing, controlling, doing things in isolation, systemic perspective allows us to go to the deeper understanding, and then repositioning and belonging, respectfully belonging, and then doing the right alignment. And now, because we talked a lot, today's session is a little bit longer than yesterday one, but it's okay because there is the discussion, but it's not a lot more left. So I'm now inviting you into one visualization. It will be very short, but I think that it will be nice after all those talks that we had. So just close your eyes and focus on your breathing. Do a few inhale and exhale, just that you calm down and that you are ready. Forget about everything that we were talking Nothing is important. Feel your body. Just breathe in and breathe out. And now try to imagine the 3 peacock feathers. Each has a unique color and shape. The first feather symbolizes the family system, so your ancestors and their patterns and your relationships with them. Observe your sensations, observe your thoughts, maybe images that arises, maybe emotions that you are sensing when you are connecting with that feather. See its color, see its shape. Then you are slowly moving to the second feather that represents your professional or your career system. So all the companies, all the colleagues, all the organizations, all the teams, including the current one. Observe sensations here with this second feather. What are your thoughts? Are there some images that arise? And the third feather signifies the broader social system. So the culture, the country, social influences. And just observe it. See its color, its shape. Feel the sensations. Try to remember, how do you feel with each of those 3 feathers, with each of those 3 systems? Where do you feel that you are supported? Where do you not feeling that you are supported? And now imagine the 3 feathers are merging. And you have one big, nice, fan-shaped peacock tail, which is symbolizing integrated connection of all your systems. And now you can sense how all these systems together influence your life and your identity. And there's a very nice peacock with such a beautiful peacock tail. You can make a few steps around, showing your tail to everyone who wants to see it. And when you have enough of that, you can slowly return to the present moment. You can open your eyes, and if you wish, you can maybe draw your peacock or share some of your experiences. Okay, I have some emojis, so I hope that you liked it. Maybe you got some insights. Yeah. Okay. I would start with the finishing of today's session. So the key insight that I want to share is that actually every system wants to grow, and so do you. And sometimes what helps you survive may be now holding you back. And if you are trying to outgrow some pattern, that's a good act of good leadership. You need to outgrow the pattern that are blocking you, that are limiting you. But of course, you need also to have in mind the potential, the purpose of the system, and act in accordance with that. I would like to know what's your key insight. So maybe if you can write in the chat one word or one statement about your key insights. And something that is still valid, I would like to say that you have 4 more questions for homework on the system reflection. And the similar, like I told yesterday, if you send me on the mail both system reflections that we did today during the session and the homework, I will send you my reflection on that, and maybe maybe my reflection would give you some more insights. I don't know. I do it for a few people who do it yesterday, so I'm ready to do it again. So if you want, you can send me that, and the deadline for sending is tomorrow's session. Of course, that homework is totally optional, and also fully optional is that if you want, that you come to the Systemic Constellation workshop. I'm having a group Systemic Constellation workshop each month, and it's good if you would like to feel some things, how they, if you think that you are ready to do some work, and that you are ready to see things from a different perspective. Those constellations are sort of simulation, like a simulation of your family or simulation of your current team. And if you are interested in the systemic constellations, you can directly contact me, and we can see if for your particular issue, it's better to have the group constellation or to have individual constellation, because both are possible. But it depends on the issue. And yeah, that's 2 minutes of marketing, of my marketing, that I'm also doing something in that regard. For tomorrow, we will have the last session. Finally, action, because yesterday we started with being stuck, and then we were going around the energies and stuckness. And today we were going about understanding the role of the system and all those patterns that maybe are not our individually, but maybe are the system issues that we are trying to solve. And tomorrow we will go more into aligned action. What does it mean to be aligned, and how to move forward? But to move forward not from this all loyalties, fears, and beliefs that are not serving us, but that we really have the next level of clarity, and then decision to move on. So this is what will happen tomorrow, again at 7 o'clock. And I hope that all of you who are today here will be there. So now I am officially closing all the things that I was ready to share with you today.